the rise from poverty into the middle class. It's only the capitalist system that creates the middle class. And where were all those middle class people prior to capitalism? If you study the history of Europe prior to capitalism, whether you read Fernand Braudel, or whether you read Angus Madison, or whether you read Carlos Apolla, or whomever the historians are, they all tell you that the masses were starving, they were starving. But those are the ones who rose under capitalism into the middle class, and we are the descendants of those people who rose out of that kind of poverty. Only capitalism makes that possible because of the principle of individual right, liberating individuals to use their mind to make their own way in the world. Yeah, over there on the side.
Yeah, couldn't it be micro-lending? Couldn't I lend you $100 to buy a cow, and you provide milk, and that has a high magnitude, and you just pay?
Yeah, in a free economy, yeah. That's one. Yeah.
No, that leads back to.
This isn't supposed to be a discussion. I'm sorry.
What is in the concept of free trade? What is the advantage of the orange farmer who had orange trees on his farm in Jamaica or wherever, and for years and years and years, his oranges were rotting on the ground, and all of a sudden he finds a way to sell them, and that was what else?
Sorry.
What else is in there for this farmer from that aspect? You explained it by, well, prices are dropping, prices are going down in the supermarket. But when the prices are going down in the supermarket, is the orange farmer in Jamaica, is he at a further disadvantage? Or what is he doing? Is he increasing his production? Or what is he?
Let me see if I have the
What is in it for the third world poor orange tree owner?
What's in international free trade for you?
Yeah, in international free trade.
Yeah.
That was your question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to continue with with the answer, expand on the answer I gave before. What's in it for the producers all over the world is it opens up markets for them in other countries. So, what country did you mention? Jamaica, did you say?
Well,
So then the market for the orange grower that is not under international free trade is not limited to Jamaica. And in Jamaica, there might be a limited market because people don't have a lot of money. It's a relatively poor country. But if he can sell oranges all over the world, if he can compete in the United States, if he can compete in Japan, if he can compete in Hong Kong, if he can compete in Europe, then of course the capacity to vastly expand the amount of customers he can reach means the capacity to earn much greater profits. That's what's in it for the producer. What's in it for the customer? What's in it for the customer, obviously, is lower prices. What's in it for the producer is the opportunity to reach markets all over the world, markets that would be close to him under protections, because he'd have to pay an import duty. If the United States doesn't let him import oranges freely, if they put a tariff on Jamaican oranges, then they can make it more expensive to sell Jamaican oranges in the United States, and consequently, he's going to make less money. He can sell, it'll be more expensive, he's going to sell fewer, he's going to make less money. He may not even bother with the American market at all at that point, which of course closes out an opportunity for him to make a profit, and of course closes out a source of orange supply for American customers. Yeah.
What you're saying is freedom is to the advantage of the producer of oranges.
Absolutely. Freedom has no downside. Freedom is never good.
He's increasing his production.
He has the economic incentive to increase production. That's exactly right. Freedom is to the advantage of the producer every bit as much as the customer. Freedom has no downside. Has only an upside. Who hasn't asked the question? Yeah.
How is wealth or capital created?
Well, that's an interesting question. He's a philosophy major here. You could tell. That's a good. How is wealth or capital created? That's a good question. First of all, we need to understand that wealth is, and I know this much economics. Wealth, you understand, is not money, right? Wealth is goods. Sound like George Carlin. Wealth is stuff. Right? Wealth is, George Carlin did the whole routine on stuff. But wealth is food, wealth is clothing, wealth is housing, wealth is medical care, etc. It's not paper dollars, it's not even gold. I mean, you can't eat any of that stuff, you can't live in it, you can't dress in it. I mean, money is indispensable as a tool of exchange, right? As a tool of exchanging wealth, as a tool of exchanging goods. But money is much more efficient than a simple barter economy. But money is not wealth. If money were wealth, then the government could end poverty simply by printing and distributing trillions and trillions of dollars, right? That's not funny. Mugabe's done it just recently in Zimbabwe. What did I see recently? Like a $10 billion bill or something? Yeah, whatever. Such a policy of printing and distributing trillions of dollars is the essence of inflation. It's what inflation is. And it increases prices, obviously, because you have much more money bid against a stable amount of goods. It increases prices, it doesn't increase production. So first of all, wealth is goods. Wealth is stuff. So how do you create wealth? That's the question, right? You produce. And you're back to, Jean-Baptiste said, produce. That's the whole thing. So somebody's got to grow the oranges. Somebody's got to, grow the crops. Somebody's got to manufacture the clothing. Somebody's got to ship this stuff to market. Somebody's got to open a store to sell this stuff. Somebody's got to study medicine and figure out how to cure diseases. Somebody's got to drive the crosstown bus, etc., etc. Wealth is goods and services. It's not money. And so goods and services are produced by human effort. And this is the part of the theme of Atlas Shrugged, that the fundamental means of producing wealth is by thinking, is by means of the rational mind. And the rational mind requires political economic freedom. This is why the capitalist nations are vastly more prosperous by many orders of magnitude than are the statist ones. Because they put the fewest amounts, and under laissez-faire they put zero, which is as few as you could get, the fewest amount of obstacles in the place of the creative thinkers. So there's no obstacles to stop Edison from doing his experimentation, from inventing the electric light. Somebody mentioned taking a loan, from getting investment from J.P. Morgan, who bankrolled parts of Edison's research, from starting his own company, from going into competition with the gaslight companies, from building his power plant on Pearl Street in New York City, and starting to electrify New York City. Under laissez-faire, not that the United States was laissez-faire in the late 19th century, but the closest that any nation in history has ever come to it. There's fewer obstacles in the path of innovative thinkers and entrepreneurs. So this is what permits the creation of wealth, and what permits it from somebody starting out with, whether they have money to start out with in life, or whether they don't. And starting out with money doesn't mean you're going to create money. I don't think Paris Hilton's going to create. I don't get the impression she's going to create a great deal of wealth. Although her family members in the past have. Conrad Hilton, if I remember, it was Conrad Hilton, wasn't it? It was a grandfather, a great-grandfather founded the Hilton hotel chain and, built up, these hotels all over the world. He was a great businessman. He built hotels that previously didn't exist. And so wealth is created. It's created by human effort and fundamentally the work of the mind. And that the mind requires political economic freedom because innovative thinkers under various statist regimes are heretical. They're dangerous. They have thoughts that might be threatening to the regime. The more freedom, the less obstacles placed in the path of innovative thinkers, including the wealth creators. So that's how wealth is created, and that's the theme of Atlas Shrugged. So one reason why I think everybody should read Atlas Shrugged is because literarily it's just a great story. It's just a superb novel. But secondly, philosophically, Ayn Rand dramatizes, she shows in action exactly how wealth is created, how the mind is fundamental in that process, and how the mind requires political economic freedom.